2017 election reads to be issued tomorrow. PPP announces 85 members to run. And Lay Police boss calls on candidates and supporters for trouble-free election.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Wednesday's news. People's Progress Party today announced the confirmation of 85 members to contest in the 2017 national elections. The majority of the intending candidates are from the Highlands region. Party leader Ben Micah says PPP is prepared to implement its transformational agenda if PPP candidates are voted into respective offices.
The PPP leader and member for Keveng announced the 85 candidates this morning in Port Moresby. With only 5 sitting MPs defending the seats, Micah is optimistic voters will have confidence for PPP candidates going into the elections.
And members of the PPP, once they are elected, will sign a code of conduct, starting with me. Simple, accountable, responsive, transparent government.
Micah gave a snapshot of the party's policies. He says the focus for PPP's policies is basically to fight corruption, slash the public service mechanism by half, and be responsible in all decisions regarding natural resources.
That PPP, being a majority in this next parliament, we are going to change every law that has alienated the land from the customary owners, from the Melanesian indigenous people. We are going to change every law that has taken away mineral rights, petroleum rights, and give them back to the people who have owned it.
Among the 85 intending candidates, 3 women were endorsed to contest for North Bougainville, Moresby South and Obura Woninara seat in Eastern Highlands. Some of the notables contesting under PPP banner include businessman Larry Andagali, Ambassador Gabriel Dusava, Nakikus Konga, Senti Magis, Paul Torato, Peter Arul and Anna Skate. With the writs to be issued tomorrow and for nominations to open, only time will tell as people prepare to cast their votes for leaders in the 9th Parliament. Jack Lapave Jr., National EMTV News.
A Motu Koitabu leader says he will be running for the Moresby Northwest office this year. Miria Ikupu says he wants to do more for Port Moresby's customary landowners. Ikupu has contested 4 elections and this is his 5th. He lost by 17 votes in 2012.
The Motu Koitabu people have many issues that need urgent attention, but their leadership has found it difficult to effectively attend to them. Their council is divided and they have no office to commune. Each year they expect 500,000 kina from the city hall, but the chairman says there is no money.
As a chairman, no. I wanted to do so much, but I can't do it for simple reason. Motu Koita Assembly have no money. We have to go to NCDC to get our money.
The Motu Koitabu Assembly chairman, Miria Ikupu, is now running for office in an attempt to make sure the Motu Koitabu people benefit from development happening in Port Moresby. They are talking tax returns coming directly to the assembly, bypassing City Hall. Ikupu believes he can do that in Parliament.
I think I'll do much better to serve the people as a member of Parliament than as a chairman of Motu Koita.
This is Ikupu's 5th election run, and this time he hopes to bring the Motu Koitabu agenda to the floor of Parliament. Ikupu is an economist with qualifications from the University of Papua New Guinea and the United Kingdom. The Motu Koitabu people have been feeling that they have been misrepresented in Parliament for many years now. But whether they will have their own in Parliament comes down to when they start voting. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News.
Pangu Party has announced 8 candidates for Morobe, including 4 men who are former members of Parliament. Thomas Pelika, Ginson Saunu, Kennedy Wenge and Connie Iguan were present during a presentation at a gathering in Ley today. The event comes after a scathing attack from Sir Michael Somara's daughter Bertha on party leader Sam Basil.
With the issue of writs tomorrow, Pangu Party has been gathering support in communities around Morobe province. This morning, a convoy led by party leader Sam Basil. The party's energies are being put into strategic electorates around Papua New Guinea. Morobe, according to party advisors, is very important. The 9 Morobe seats that Pangu wants to win represents about 1/10 of the seats in parliament. Then at the Eriku Oval, in front of hundreds of people, the party presented 8 candidates. Their nominations paid for with contributions from dock workers. 4 of the candidates are former members of parliament. Kennedy Wenge will contest the Nawaib seat, Thomas Pelika Menyamia, Connie Iguan for Makam, and against Governor Kelly Naru in the regional seat, former Kabum MP Ginson Saonu. Pangu has been drawing support from the party founder, Sir Michael Somare, whose daughter, Dalciana, was endorsed as Pangu's candidate for the East Sepik regional seat. But yesterday, another member of the Somare clan issued a scathing attack on Basil. In a letter, the more senior of the Somare daughters, Bertha, accused Sam Basil of using her sister to gain support from Sir Michael. Scott Waide, National MTV News, Lae.
The Lae Metropolitan Commander is appealing to all intending candidates and their supporters to ensure the start of the election process is trouble-free. Anthony Wagambi has warned them against causing disturbances. Police will be out in full force starting tomorrow.
Wagambi is appealing for understanding and common sense amongst the candidates and their supporters. Lae police will be out in full force during the elections. This is to make sure normalcy is maintained while traffic rules and other laws are not breached.
I'm appealing to all intending candidates and their supporters during this period that we all adhere to our laws. Election laws and normal everyday laws must be complied with.
Police are also under pressure to maintain order and discipline. Wagambi says police will remain neutral and ensure the election process is fair and transparent.
Police will be out in numbers. We are using all our available manpower and resources to cater for the first process of the elections, which is the nominations. Will start tomorrow. We will cater for that to ensure that it's done orderly. We will not tolerate anybody who steps out of line.
Police will also be carrying out awareness during the lead-up to casting of votes. This is to ensure that people are not suppressed from exercising their rights to vote. Lae Police is in the process of implementing a strategic policing method to cater for elections and will continue after the elections. The new method will be announced in the coming days. Mata Luis, National MTV News, Lae.
The writs for the 2017 national general elections will be issued tomorrow by Governor-General Bob Dadai. This will then see the opening of nominations, which will run for a week, ending on 27th April. Nomination fees still remain at 1,000 kina. Electoral Commissioner Patilius Gamato says returning officers will start accepting nominations from intending candidates and seating members of parliament from 4 p.m. tomorrow. Manam volcano erupts again. Graduation for child protection officers and 25-kilometer pilot road project in Milne Bay set to benefit locals. Those stories after the break. Welcome back. The volcano on Manam Island has erupted again. While there has been mild volcanic activities since the major eruption over 10 years ago, on Easter Sunday afternoon, dark clouds covered the island in darkness and rumbling began. People on the island say Budua, Dugulaba and Warisi villages has seen lava flow and huge rocks from the eruption have come down between Yasa and Kuluguma villages. While the majority of the islanders have remained at care centers on the mainland, some have returned to Manam, including the whole population of Baliao village and the nearby island of Buaisa. Madang Governor Jim Cass is appealing to all people on the island to return to their care centers on the mainland. He says if they remain on the island, it will cause unnecessary strain on government resources for evacuation exercises. The only exceptions are the Baliao and Buaisa people. Communication with people on Manam has been disrupted since last night and is believed to be caused by the eruption. 38 NCD, Central and Motu Koita Child Protection Officers graduated yesterday after a week in training. This follows the launching of PNG's first national child protection policy in Kokopo, East New Britain last week. Minister for Community Development and Religion Delilah Gore said the policy would be used to guide the development of child protection programs on all levels of government.
Their voices rang through the room as if to celebrate the threshold of a brighter era for children like them across the country. They belong to the Born Free Foundation, one that embraces children who found refuge in the streets, running from abuse or a broken home.
You only need to drive out in the middle of the night to see the deplorable state of the children.
For almost a decade, the Department of Community Development and Religion has fought for their protection. Now, after 2 years of announcing the establishment of a child protection program to no avail, Delilah Gore took a shot at redeeming her reputation. Making her exit as the Minister for Community Development and Religion, she launched the graduation of 38 child protection officers for the southern region.
And today it's the fulfillment of something that I have been preaching in Parliament for a long time. I'm really happy to be here.
According to the UN, they are the second batch in over 2 decades. The officers have been trained to understand the Lukautim Pikinini Act 2017 and empowered to be law enforcers in that regard.
I remember previously they have to go around looking for policemen to come and enforce the law or protect the child. That's of the past. Today you will not be going looking for policemen. You are now regulated to use those powers to protect our children.
Gore said they will play an essential role in implementing child protection policies under provincial councils that will be established in the southern region.
They will not understand me. They will think that I'm playing politics. But really, it's you, child protection officers. Those are your duties to get down there and make our people understand.
She was quoted by media recently saying the department has established a technical working group with international NGOs and other stakeholders to meet on a monthly basis in order to ensure that resources are used effectively towards child protection.
It's one thing to have a beautiful policy, put it on the shelf, but it's another thing, to have legs and hands, so that the policy can work, and then so that the policy can start translating to action in the life of the children. And this is where we are going to be.
Similar trainings will be carried out in the New Guinea Islands, Mamase and Highlands region. The department also plans to host a children's forum in November that allows them to finally speak out for themselves. Melissa Goviro, National EMTV News.
A 25-kilometer-long pilot road is expected to change the lives of the communities who will use it. The Kapurika to Mainawa Pilot Road project in Milne Bay is a new link that will connect Alotau town with some of the most remote parts of the district. Member for Alotau National Planning and Monitoring and Public Enterprise Minister Charles Abel said about 4 million kina has already been spent through DSIP funds to construct the road.
Traveling the Kapurika to Mainawa Road by vehicle or on foot is not for the faint of heart. The rugged terrain, similar to many other remote parts of the country, made it difficult for vehicles to travel. After 2 days of traveling, 1 night spent on the road, and the last 2 kilometers covered on foot, the team reached its destination, Mainawa, exhausted.
This road is extremely important. Not only to the people of Alotau district but to the people of Milne Bay in general, because it is the road that is connecting the north coast of the mainland of Milne Bay through to our provincial capital Alotau.
4 million kina has been spent over the past 5 years to get the road to where it is now. Before work started, Minister Abel walked the area with surveyors to determine it was the best place to put the road.
But you can see how challenging the terrain is. Despite it being the best route, it is still very challenging. And the contractor has done a good job to open up this pilot track. But you can see it's only a pilot track. And there's so much work still to be done yet.
Eventually, this road will be part of the national highway network.
It is the road that will be part of the ring road of Papua New Guinea, actually, that connects around Alatau to the north coast and then continue through to the border of Oro.
At Mainawa, landowners illustrated their support when they presented Minister Abel with a pair of scissors to launch the road. Head teacher of Mainawa Primary School, Denzil Urigeni, said the school has a high number of dropouts that's attributed to a lack of motivation because of the traveling distance to the nearest high school. This has led to bigger problems of illiteracy, high maternal mortality rates and other cross-cutting issues.
Through this highway, I believe those problems that I highlighted in my speech today will certainly be solved. And not only that, but it will also encourage our communities around here to engage in SME activities.
For locals, a road is a dream come true.
I struggle walking from here from 6 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Bangkura market, that's coastal market.
Minister Abel said work will continue on the road until it is of decent standard.
And I must feel the pain of my people. Then I understand the urgency, the rush for this development.
It will take a bit more money and time, but the minister is adamant that the benefits that will follow will assist the communities in the long run. Deli Waigeno, National, EMTV News.
East New Britain Province will be constructing its first ever solar power plant for the province in the coming months. The multi-million Kina solar power plant will produce 20 megawatts of electricity. East New Britain Governor Erman Tobaning Jr. says this is to complement economic growth in the province. Edwin Fidelis reports from Kokopo.
Yesterday marked a significant milestone for the Bitapaka people, the custodians of the land that the solar power facility will be built on. The land title was handed to the provincial government by the local level government heads that marked the agreement between the two parties to allow work to begin.
And this is an achievement that, yes, we did achieve through the 3 years, 4 years and 5 years according to our 5-year development plan in Kokopo district.
The initiative to start the solar power plant wasn't new. Over the past 6 years, the East New Britain provincial government has been carrying out feasibility studies to establish the plant, and this year the project finally paid off. The solar power facility will look like this and will generate about 20 megawatts of electricity. The electricity will then be sold to PNG Power through their main electricity grid.
Also, rather than us thinking within the box all the time, let us think outside the box. So, Bitapaka local level government, may I congratulate him on this bold decision.
The project will cost the East New Britain provincial government several millions. A total of 700,000 kina has already been given to a foreign contractor to commence the project. This comes at a time as Kokopo, the provincial capital, is slowly changing from a town into a city. Businesses are growing and more people are coming to live here. And more businesses and more people means more electricity will be needed.
You may like him, but you may build him up, now produce him. There's our own power supply, so that we can have him to PNG Power Limited.
The switch to solar power has been prompted by debilitating power cuts in recent years, caused by high power demands in the province and old and poorly maintained infrastructures. Blackouts that some estimates say cost the provincial economy several millions. The project hasn't fully started yet, but for the locals, they already have high hopes to be part of these new developments through the SME sector. They say it's not just about the electricity going into their villages for the first time, but also they want to tap into other income-generating avenues that the solar power project is expected to bring. Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Kokopo.
After traveling a rough 12-hour ride and getting some much-needed rest, Harry Egimbari spoke with a guest house owner in rural Menyamia district of Morbe province. Menyamia's tourism sector is still underdeveloped, with road infrastructure being one of the main challenges for businesses.
Menyamia, vibrant culture and people. Sprawling mountains, terrain dotted with pine trees and crisscrossed by snaking rivers. Menyamia's potential goes beyond being a postcard destination. It's also where we rested after a long 12-hour journey. Tucked away in quaint landscaping and whistling pine groves is Winnie's guest house.
Gawana Blomipla, Kerenaro, Emsakam Siliplo here. Emsakam one time house line. A house em no big pla lik tasol. How will Sakam na squisa be mo Sakam na silipe.
It's a welcome respite of triple share rooms, costing 90 kina per night. It provides running tank water, genset for power, and a fully kitted kitchen. But the station faces a chronic shortage of power and water.
Road condition blom pla no good pla, but how misa struggle or go down lo pinim guest na one more lik something.
With roads in a dilapidated state and utilities being inconsistent, tourists may be deterred from visiting Menyamia. But while risks remain a commercial fact for any entrepreneurial undertaking, Winnie's warmth and welcome to her guest house is a big seller. Harry Egimbari, National EMTV News, Leh.
And now looking at our finance news, the kina opened unchanged at $0.3145 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3070 $0.4038 Australian dollars, $0.2841 euro, and 33.05 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, and copra closed higher, while cocoa closed the day lower. Copper closed higher, while palm oil and crude oil closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 113.64 points lower, the ASX closed at 40.74 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed at 37.21 points higher. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. The Waigani Supreme Court has ruled against Manus MP Ronnie Knight's application to review decisions made by a leadership tribunal. Justice Colin McKyle refused the application today on grounds that there was nothing new for Knight to argue, as the oral submissions did not address the penalty. This case is in relation to the purchasing of a shipping vessel in 2013, where over 2.6 million kina of Manus DSIP funds were used to buy the vessel. The court found that Knight failed to inform members of the district administration of the actual cost of the vessel, which required additional 180,000 kina. Meanwhile, Knight indicated on social media that his lawyer is preparing submissions to seek permanent stay order on the findings. Leh police have made a total of 107 arrests out of the 81 various complaints registered during the Easter weekend. Leh Metropolitan Commander Chief Superintendent Anthony Wagambi Jr. says random roadblocks and foot patrols were conducted during the day and night. Police conducting roadblocks in the night were able to arrest several drunk drivers and other traffic offenders. Others were detained for alcohol-related offences.
Police impounded 17 PMV buses and 3 private vehicles at the traffic registry over the weekend. The drivers and the owners were arrested and charged for breaching traffic rules. A special court sitting was held on Monday by the senior provincial magistrate to clear out the police cells. The majority of those who appeared in the court were for alcohol-related and traffic offences. The Leh Metropolitan Commander is warning vehicle owners to fix their vehicles or be dealt with by police. Police are now working with the Morobel Lands Transport Board, the National Road Safety Council and NVIL to clamp down on unroadworthy vehicles. Wagambi says the vehicles will not be released until the defects are fixed. The engagement of other stakeholders is to ensure public safety is maintained on the roads. From the police reports, a large number of traffic offences are committed at night. Police will be conducting traffic operations in the night and those caught will be arrested and charged. For now, checks on PMV buses are an ongoing police operation. Mata Luis, National EMTV News, Leh.
Leh's Chinatown police have apprehended an escapee wanted for double murders at the Butibam village on Saturday. The suspect was arrested for 2 separate murders. He had escaped during the mass breakout at Buimo jail last year. Police were informed of his location and surrounded his hiding spot and caught him. He was in the company of 4 other men when he was caught. The 4 were also arrested and charged for harboring him. The president for people living with disabilities in Leh, Kurari Nota, says it is very difficult for them to access services from both private and government institutions. Speaking on behalf of more than 200 people living with disabilities in Leh, Nota says their opportunities and participation in the society is limited by the treatment they get. Julie Badui Owa with this report.
Kurari Nota, a 56-year-old father of 5 from Finchafen and ex-correctional service officer in Leh, lost his wife in 2005. Since then, he raised his children on his own until 2014. He was diagnosed with diabetes and had to have his right leg amputated. Service delivery from both private and government institutions has become a great challenge for him and others living with disabilities.
Time is in now, start looking heavy on this law. Pasal mi normal man meri mi sinda no house na im like grab one step kisi something lo happen im like go. Easy.
There is distinct lack of knowledge and resources for managing disabilities in some communities. People with disabilities are unable to join community life, go to school or work. The type of building built and public utilities are not accessible to people living with disabilities. During the launching of the National Disability Policy on May 27 in 2015, Peter O'Neill assured the policy would promote responsible actions to remove barriers hindering people living with disabilities from enjoying the same rights as others. However, this has not happened.
It's a call to the authorities, long government and business agencies, that all can look him, appoint him, or staffs below 1-1. So the time of look at disability man Mary, he come when I'm law, attend him or case law.
Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Leh.
Private institutions play an important role in the human resource development of this country. Like other institutions, MAPEX Training Institute provides an opportunity for school leavers to pursue their studies and seek employment. Managing Director Marcus Kara, speaking to EMTV News, said with increasing enrollments and infrastructures available, it aims to become a premier institution in the country. Eric Harupma with this report.
Papua New Guinea's MAPEX Training Institute is located near Boroko area in Port Moresby. The institution enrolls students from across Papua New Guinea, many of them are school leavers. It was established in 2015 following Managing Directors Marcus Palen Kara's dreams and aspirations to develop human resources of this country.
This is done 5-year strategic development, a strategic plan. And we launched together with the opening of dormitory. And that strategic development plan is like we this current location here to set up our own institution. And that institution will not be an institution as MAPEX Training Institute. it will become a college or a university.
The competency and quality output of this institution has seen an increased student enrollment who came through the TVET scholarship programs. This semester, the institution enrolled 730 students, both residential and non-residential. Principal Alphonse Foymai said there are qualified staff teaching there. Many of them have expertise in different fields in mining, business management, computing, aviation, etc.
The thing about our programs that we have started out as we initiated the full-time courses in 2015, we had one concept in mind, and that is to prove our uniqueness, different types of courses. So we introduced such courses such as the certificate in logistics and supply chain management, the certificate in airline operations such as fares and ticketing 1 and then 2. We looked at even introducing introduction to media studies, communication arts media studies, which in most private institutes in Papua New Guinea, especially locally owned, you don't find these kind of courses. And most of these courses are also not offered in the universities. So
it also markets its students through PNG JobSeek and job training with relevant companies or organizations. Erika Rukma, National EMTV News.
Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare was given a New Island chieftain's welcome and farewell yesterday in Kavieng. In a true never-seen-before display of traditional New Island chieftain culture, the Grand Chief was bestowed 3 chief titles in a program that featured his historical connection with the province.
It was a bright sunny morning in Kavieng yesterday as the town was decked out to receive the Grand Chief. From the plane and met by New Island Governor Sir Julius Chan, a traditional welcome was waiting. From the airport to the center of town, students, men, women and children lined the streets waving flags and calling out well wishes to the man many of whom have only seen in pictures and on television. Students from all the province's schools greeted the Grand Chief as he stopped for a short rest before the day's program. Three different chieftain titles were given to the Grand Chief.
Tradition as well.
In true New Island custom, the role of Lady Veronica and Lady Stella Chan was also recognized. But when the two most important men of the moment stood up to speak, it was a lesson in history.
For we have been through much. We share many memories. We were both elected to the Second House of Assembly in 1968. We have known each other for more than 50 years. What a journey it has been.
From the pair who led this new country, Papua New Guinea,
the memories that will never fade are the 2 days in September 1975. The voice of the Governor General, Sir John Guise, on the radio at 1 minute past midnight on September 15, 1975, and said Papua New Guinea is now independent. The constitution of the independent state of Papua New Guinea is now in effect. Let us unite with the Almighty God's guidance and help in working together a future as a strong and free country. At sunrise, the next morning, 16 September 1975, I remember, the Australian flag was lowered and the flag of the independent state of Papua New Guinea was raised by the PNG Defence Force. Sir Michael, we stood together, witnessing the birth of our country, watching the flag of our country flying in the free sky of Papua New Guinea.
The Grand Chief, direct and in Tokpisin, spoke from his heart.
All in a family on New Island. People are making me no sabe, mami express him also manem. Hard to mas long, making one platok. Me come up long here long, 1957 also young platicha. Meeting also New Island kind place also. So stop lamin na milukim also pasin. Na ting-ting blayu pla, custom blayu pla, tradition blayu pla, tanim bell. Na ipla tanim bell, tanim bell ta sol blong me, ipla tanim bell blong all family blong me na, all people blong me long ECB.
In acknowledging his host and the important role he also played,
Plani mani sabi tok, call him name blong me. Solo lino tok sabe, or sem, bibin ga good pla, advisor, sanap long backside lomi. Na, kiki mas plomin tok no, you don't go work him also, you must work him also. Em long, right honorable Sir Julius Chan. Member long you pla, lana matrai, before, now regional member long you me.
And as is tradition with the Grand Chief, an insight and comparison of the value of politics and politicians today.
Today you play looking politics belong today in Narakain. All money come long races. Meet play is up. Yes, meet play go long one house belong meet play yet. I'm long PPP na milong pangu. Meet play working house differently. That's all passing na so him custom na tradition. Constitution belong Papua New Guinea meet play working. The constitution me play write him, me play bring him all the people belong Papua New Guinea all together. Now today in New Island, he make him the celebration, he mark him, mark, long, mitbala, he been stop one time now, make him the country, today, you can go all him up, all talk on him, all get up, all talk him, one him usat Papua New Guinea, and there's a two pla, one pla, boy New Island, and one pla boy Sipikia.
But finally, the reason why many call him Papa, Chief, Sana, and now Mekmun, his gratitude for all who had made the long journey to Kavieng to farewell him.
Sumatin, now all teachers, all gira, welcome you play giving me. You play put him this red carpet treatment. You play giving me, minanaplo New Island.
Neville Choi, National EMTV News.
Chukai Sports is next. Hunters retain lineup, Digital Cup launch deferred, and NRL. Stay tuned for details.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. SPPNG Hunters coach Michael Marum has stuck with the same team from last weekend to face the Burleigh Bears. He has named an extended 21-man bench and will finalize the team on Thursday.
The team will be concentrating more on their attack and have addressed ball handling errors, which was an issue in last week's clash.
Many errors in our game, I think both sides. So we've made 17 errors there. So okay, that's higher so far this year, and we need to cut down on that. Okay, we need to complete our sets and get to good kicks. I think our kicking game in the first half wasn't really good.
A few players have niggling injuries suffered from last week's match that are not a concern to Coach Marum. Arce Boas, Stanton Albert and a few other players may be rested this weekend due to their injuries depending on their preparations this week.
Arce Boas still carrying the same injuries. So rest for him probably be good for the round 9 game against Northern Pride here, and also if he's going to be eligible in the test team. So, and also we're looking at Moses is still been cited by the referee according to the videos on a crusher tackle there, the second half. So that's one thing we also looking at. Stanton Albert just pulled out today, so he can't really run, so he needs a week off. So.
If Aseboas misses this weekend's clash, this will see Israel Eleb move into the 5th position, while Willie Minoga takes his place in the centres.
We got options there, but you know, Ase hasn't really trained hard the last 2 weeks. He's always been on the sideline until Thursday, Friday, but now he probably needs a rest. But again, will really depend on his recovery and also the medical team. If they get back to us by Thursday, that he can't play, then we'll have to just miss him out.
This week, they will have the benefit of having extra days to prepare and finalize the team before they travel to Burleigh for their match. They will be playing for the Kokoda Cup this weekend, in which the Bears won last year. The Bears will be tough playing at home after also coming off a 2-point loss against the Blackhawks.
Probably picking at right time too, so you know, one of our own boys still in there, so in their side. Luke Page played really big minutes last week and also made big meters here. So they'll be tough at home. Yeah.
The team leaves on Saturday for their Sunday clash at PZ Park and return on Monday. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Former hunter Brandy Peter has been under intense fitness training over the past few weeks. He was released from the team earlier this year for not passing the fitness test during their training camp. He will undergo his last fitness test next week before he can join the team. Coach Michael Marum says if he passes the test, he will be given a contract to join the Hunters again.
A lot of work for him. It's not easy to get back into the side, and we don't want to just you know, set a good, bad example here with Brandy, bring him straight back in, knowing he's not fit, and then that will just create a lot of issues with the past players too. So we're going to make sure we help him out a lot and make sure he passes his test, and then we can go from there. Yeah.
The 2017 Digital Cup season, scheduled to be launched today, has been deferred by a week. PNG National Rugby League Competition Administrator Stanley Hondina said the deferment was unavoidable as some franchises who expressed interest to participate had sponsorship issues. There are also other minimum requirements yet to meet, as set out by the PNG National Rugby League competition. Hondina also stated that these issues needed to be sorted out. Therefore, the launch has been moved to next Wednesday, April 26th, with the kickoff scheduled for the weekend of April 30th, 2017. Details on which teams will be participating, the draws and so on will be released later this week. In NRL, South Sydney Rabbitohs lock and captain Sam Burgess has been found not guilty on charges of a shoulder charge against Canterbury Bulldogs' Greg Eastwood last Friday. Coach Michael Maguire is one happy coach as his star player escaped a 2-week ban that would have been costly if the verdict came out otherwise.
Burgess is after the ball.
In a match that ended in a 24-9 loss for the Rabbitohs, Burgess was also red-flagged. He was charged with a Grade 1 shoulder charge, which was argued by Burgess' defence last night, with evidence showing that Burgess only braced for contact. He was penalised for that in the 8-minute hit.
And here's a penalty to Canterbury. 20 metres out.
Make a tackle, mate. They're saying shoulder charge here.
The defence also argued that prosecution's main evidence from one of the 9 cameras used was misleading due to the optical illusion it created.
Sort of can't pull out.
A pleased Coach Maguire said it's good that Burgess will be around as the team prepares to take on Brisbane Broncos on Friday. Currently 11th on the points ladder, they can't afford to lose a key player even for a week or two.
To the 40. Friday.
Dean Rose Ryko, National EMTV Sports.
Chukai Sports continues after the break. Stay tuned.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome back. PNG snooker champion Marcus Ning has retained the Port Moresby Snooker Open title for the second consecutive year. Marcus Ning defeated Ong Beng Huat 4-0 in a reduced best-of-7 frames at the Lamana Q Club in Port Moresby on the weekend.
Peter Fong and Ong Beng Huat had a tightly contested semi-final showdown, which saw the frames reduced from 9 after back-aching 7 hours of snooker, which ended at 6 p.m. with Huat ultimately winning the match 4-3. Ning went through the final with ease after outplaying Willie Vaike 4-1 in the semis. Despite the late start of the finals, it took Marcus Ning just 3 hours to score a 4-0 win over fatigue Ong Beng Huat. PNG Women's Champion Gewa John was knocked out by Peter Fong 4-1 in the quarterfinal, while Huat outclassed Nathan Fong 4-2, also in the quarterfinal, to deny a Fong affair in the semi-final playoff. Meanwhile, Ning outclassed Kelly Yambi 4-1 and Willie Vaike denied a Ning semi-final affair, defeating Roger Ning 4-3 in a close encounter. Miria Rima won the plate, defeating Gus Kraus 2-0 in the best-of-3 final. Port Moresby Billiards and Snooker Association President John Chen, upon thanking the tournament organizers, commended the players for the high standard of snooker displayed over the Easter long weekend. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
Chukai Sports ends on that note. The weather details when we come back.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, worth doing with Dulux.
Looking at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow, in the southern region, becoming cloudy with a chance of afternoon showers too in Port Moresby, showers occurring then becoming fine in Daru, becoming cloudy with few showers later in Kerema and cloudy with a chance of few showers in Alotau and Popondetta. In the Mamase region, becoming cloudy with chances of some showers in Ley, cloudy with showers occurring then fine in Medang, and overcast with showers in Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, cloudy with some showers in Lorengau, mostly fine, although cloudy in Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul and Kimbe, and mostly fine, becoming cloudy with chances of few showers in Buka. And in the Highlands region, morning fog clearing into cloudy, then afternoon showers developing in all centres.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, worth doing with Dulux.
And that has been the news, sports and weather for tonight, Wednesday the 19th of April 2017. On behalf of the entire EMTV News team, pleasant viewing, good night.